Hey everyone, this is Villains Man. I'm JVD bringing you another comic book review over Dark Middle 1 through 6. This is a big, epic event in DC Comics. Snyder had been leading up to this through his New 52 run of Batman, which is Death of the Family, Endgame, and all the Zero-Year stuff, which I've already done reviews. So if you would like, please go watch those, like, and comment on them. The story apparently has been 50,000 years in the making, and it all started after Final Crisis, when the Omega Sanction hit Batman and sent him back into time, which was apparently 50,000 years. And this dark god, Barbatos, had been watching him and set a plan in motion to bring himself to Earth. But overall, this is a pretty good story. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot of stories that tie into this, which I know Teen Titans, Green Arrow, Justice League, Flash, Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns, and the Green Lantern Corps. There's a big resistance fight right there that all takes place in the book. We have the one-shots for all the Nightmare of Batman telling you their origins and where certain parts of them take place within the story. And then we have a Batman Lost, Hawkman Found, and the Wild Hunt. Overall, I think if DC wanted to, they could have actually made these 6 parts just the Justice League. It could have been a small run in the Rebirth Justice League series, because that's mainly what characters it's about, are the Justice League. There's probably no point of them making this miniseries, but obviously they want to make money. I mean, that's what comic book companies do, and people like me love a big miniseries, as long as that's affordable, which $4 a book, can't really complain about it, because that's your average rate for a book these days. But like I said, there's a lot to take into these six issues, and I'm not covering any of the tie-in books with this. I will do those separate. So, and that may make you enjoy the book more. It may make it a lot more understandable. I have a feeling with Batman Lost, Hawkman Found, and the Wild Hunt, there's probably going to be some stuff that will make these fit in even more by what I understand, just by looking into the reading order. And I do emphasize finding your reading order if you want to get a good grip on where everything fits in. As I do these reviews, I just kind of read the series individually, and then obviously put them together into what I think, but I don't do a review over that. So, like I said, with this miniseries and any miniseries I might cover that covers a lot of books, find a guide that'll tell you where the books fit in at, and read it in order if you want to. Usually most comic book companies, as they put these miniseries out and all the tie-in books, usually release that stuff in order. It's very rare that they get out of sync with it, but I do recommend for this story, just based on some of the stuff that I've read, and it seems that there's parts missing in this middle story. Yeah, read everything in order. And it's a lot of books, so fair warning. But with that, I'll get into the story here. Like I said, this story is 50,000 years in the making. And it starts off pretty cool, as Mongol has the Justice League in space. And they're having a gladiatorial battle. And it's cool because you get to see stuff that holds the Justice League down and makes them weak, and Mongol has apparently figured out. And the thing is, the Justice League's such a powerful team, so how do you stop them? Well, Mongol has the dust of a few thousand crushed red suns. In the emblem on this armor that Superman's wearing, he's got vibration domination boots from the Dominators for the Flash, and a lock of Sethno, the Elder Gorgon, venom infused. I'm going to assume a hair, maybe? You don't really get that. That's what they use against Wonder Woman. For Aquaman, we've got some, let's see, some pit glass from Apocalypse Fires. The heat's kind of dehydrating him. For Green Lantern, they've got a gauntlet with a micro black hole on it. So, there's really cool ways here that you weaken the Justice League and make them formidable for somebody, for say, Batman, who obviously is here and has nothing on him. So just kind of put them, on even odds. But anyways, previously in all the Batman stories that I mentioned, Batman has been searching for all these, I should say, this Judas cult that's going to basically turn him into a living gateway for this creature, this dark god named Barbatos, which had been watching him, like I mentioned, during the return of Bruce Wayne after Final Crisis. But he needed the last metal to try to piece all the pieces together, and he finds it with this woman named Lady Blackhawk, who we find out is technically Hawk Girl. And he steals the nth metal from her when the Justice League's there after Challenger's Mountain appears in Gotham. And he takes off, and they're trying to chase him down. There's a really cool scene there where the Flash says, you brought us here to trap Batman. That was your plan. You obviously don't know him very well. Guy probably has a ride ready the moment we landed here, and I can promise you that it's state of the art. It's not. He's riding a Velociraptor to escape. But anyways, he's doing everything he can to throw the Justice League off of them. There's a really cool scene, and I do believe this is issue 2. Issue 2 is a lot of fun, as the Justice League is trying to capture Batman down in the Amazon. And we get some pretty good jokes here as Aquaman's in the water chasing Batman down. And he talks about how he's going to reel him in, and he makes the joke, the fish joke. Aquaman does like fish jokes, really. The Flash chases him down, giving flashbacks. Batman tells him how long it takes to encase the brain in human eyes. And it's weird that Batman's not, Flash, not fast enough to react to this, as a Batarang just freezes his head. You figure he's a Flash, he'd be fast enough to dodge that. Well, anyways, they wind up catching Batman here, and it winds up being Nightwing. And he's got the terrible green beatdown, this little Lotus. And that's when Wonder Woman realizes that they need to run because Nightwing has tricked them into coming to the Parliament of Trees, and Swamp Thing burst out to attack them. So that's a really neat little moment in the book. Well, it's not over there, as Superman finally realizes that Batman's in the Jeep that Damian's driving, and he pops in and tells him, I know your heartbeat as well as Lois is. They find out, and this is where Batman gives him the spill about the Dynesium, the Electrum, the Promethium, the nth metal, and there's one more metal, and he tells him what's going to happen. Well, that's when Wonder Woman realizes that this isn't Batman. Superman realizes it, punches a hole in him, and it's Clayface posing as Batman. And this really kind of builds up Clayface. Shows you how awesome of a character and how powerful he is. And I know I'm segueing here, but it's really cool because if you look at Night of the Monster Men in the beginning of these 52 runs with Batman, Nightwing, and Detective Comics, which I've done a review over that. If you want to go check it out, you can like and comment on it. And we really see Clayface really use his ability and expend himself to a point that it weakens him, as he's turning into all these cops. He encases the top of a building to take out Hugo Strange and cut the oxygen off of him. And here, he's literally mimicking Batman's voice, and more importantly, his heartbeat, just to throw Superman off. Really, really cool feat there. And you find out that it's all due to this little bat tracer that's in his chest. Really cool, mad props to Clayface. It's a really awesome thing for the character to do. But anyways, Batman becomes this gateway, and he finds out that the Judas tribe is actually the Court of the Owls. And we have these ancient priests. They make the gateway. They call through Barbatos and and his Dark Knights, which are all these nightmare versions of Batman. So, and it's a trap. Obviously, Batman falls for it because he's so obsessed with doing this. And so they wind up mantling him with this last metal, and it's really goofy. Has a horrible name, and it's called, oh man, this is pretty terrible, Batmantium. Yes, Batmantium. As horrible as that sounds, does not sound cool at all. Um, but anyways, that's what opens up the gateway, and Barbatos shows up, and Barbatos is really cool because Greg Capullo, great artist. Every time I picture him, I keep seeing the Creech, and his design for monsters really shows in Barbatos. Long tattered cloak. What's cool is you never get to see his face. His eyes always glows, and he doesn't get word bubbles when he speaks. His words are really written really large across the panels to show you that he is a god, that he is above everyone here, and he quickly puts Wonder Woman and Superman in their place and drains their powers. Like I said, so we're getting a taste of this Barbatos character. Just right there, just with some energy, he weakens Wonder Woman and Superman. We find out that they're on these towers, and Barbatos is using all the people of the world to drain them of their energy to power these towers so he can pull the Earth Prime into what we've learned is the Dark Multiverse. And apparently the multiverse is full of planets that have failed to exist due to a hero turning to evil. But anyway, so as Wonder Woman and everybody's rescuing people, they realize that there is all these different locations they need to go to, and it's pretty cool because Mr. Terrific actually has an egg in its Plastic Man, and I can't tell you last time Plastic Man was even anything, because I don't read Justice League, which I might start reading it after this, and maybe I need to go back. But he's an egg, and he's very scared of what's going on. And Mr. Terrific here has found out about the coordinates and that where they need to go. So they wind up going to the sands of Balea, which is they're going to the Rock of Eternity, which is the center of the universe. Another one is Thangar Prime, which is the home of Hawkman. We're going to the Mariana Trench and the Fortress of Solitude. And these are the vibrations that we're going to. And it's really cool because Superman is going to go chase Batman as the others go looking for Nth Metal. And you realize that that the Phantom Zone, they're realizing might be a membrane between the positive universe, which is everything we know in DC, all 52 universes, this membrane between there and the Dark Multiverse. And we get a lot of really cool science here that steel being made of one of the Nth Metal here, and we're going to use a Flash, and he's going to use a Speed Force to charge steel like a battery, so they can throw Superman into the Dark Multiverse, which winds up turning against him because it's a trap, and he is actually the main source of power for these batteries that Barbatos needs to pull the Earth into the Dark Multiverse. And as he does it, you realize that it's not just the Prime Superman, it's all the Supermans. So it's really cool, and you realize that Barbatos and these Nightmare Batmen have really thought and planned out everything to trump anything the heroes of Earth can throw at them. So it's really good planning, and like I said, it's a story 50,000 years in the making, and it's really starting to show that Barbatos has taken 50,000 years to plan out everything. Anyways, everybody else kinds of splits up, and like I said, they're going to these different parts. Deathstroke, because he's attuned to Prometheum, goes with Aquaman to Atlantis to the original King's tomb, which is forbidden. And he's making all these weird jokes. Like he makes a joke about sex with mermaids. And when they go to the tomb, they find that some of the Atlanteans are dead. And Aquaman says, a murder. And he says, murder, to be Pacific. So it's kind of strange seeing Deathstroke crack some jokes here. But anyways, they realize that everybody is making deals with Barbatos because they have realized that Barbatos is, he's going to wind up pulling the Earth Prime, and he's promised them everything. And like I said, like everywhere they turn, the villains have started to join with him. Even the Immortal Men such as Vandal Savage and Black Adam, who have actually sent Sandra, Lady Blackhawk, Hawk Girl, with Wonder Woman and Fate to the Rock of Eternity. She's going to throw the astral brain of the Anti-Monitor to the Rock of Eternity to destroy everything, to like keep them from it. And Black Adam shows up to stop her. There's a fight with him and Wonder Woman. It's really, really, really cool. And anyways, Superman winds up saving Batman, and they wind up going to the Forge to find out that's where Hawkman is. And he's this giant kaiju hawk-looking thing with a giant maw. And they're trying to go there because Dream, the Sandman, has returned. And they're there to produce, which is the 10th metal of all these metal, Elemental X. And I cannot help but laugh at this too, because I kept the Element X reminds me of the Powerpuff Girls. Like every opening, sugar spice and everything nice, but the Doctor hit the Element X, and that's how they were born. So it's kind of a pretty funny joke there. But with the Dream, you kind of learn that when the universe is created, we have we have matter and antimatter, and then we have the darkness, which is kind of what Barbatos forged. Whoever forged these planets, and you don't really get their name, they had a dragon at their forge, which was Barbatos, who had took the forge over, and it's kind of a part that's missing there, so that's kind of weird when Dream's telling the story. And any of these worlds that are corrupted when a hero goes bad is actually destroyed at the Forge and brought into the energy of the universe. Well, Batman and them are there to get this Element X, which basically lets you forge anything possible. And they use this to go fight Barbatos and defeat him. And they give their Element X to Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Green Lantern to fight Barbatos off, and basically they use it to reach out and harness all the energy of everybody on the planet and everybody throughout the multiverse to basically raise the Earth up out of the darkness and fix everything. And what's left of the Elemental X, the Overmonitor, who controls the positive matter of the universe, uses it to shackle up Barbatos, and they save the day and they fix everything. But this is where it gets crazy, and I feel like this is the only reason this whole book was written, was they break the source wall, and the source wall has always been this big thing in DC. And you see this hand reach out, and it's almost as they're using this Element X, this 10th metal, to do all this, it's almost as if the book is written as if it's speaking to you, like you're a part of this happening. And this hand coming through the source wall was everybody that's reading this book. And that's kind of how I felt when the writer, Snyder here, is telling you this. Like, you're a part of this. You're part of why Barbatos is being beaten. And I kind of skipped over this. There's an awesome fight between Batman Who Laughs and Joker. And Batman Joker finally shows up at the end to help Batman because he's got the Overmonitor and he's going to destroy everything with the Astral Brain. So, and the Joker's left behind, and you don't know if he's dead or alive at the end of this. But anyways, they reverse everything. Everything's fixed, and that's where the story kind of gets me. Is no damage was left undone. This middle of possibilities, this Element X. I keep wanting to say Elemental X. Fixes everything and redoes everything and is powerful enough to hold Barbatos. So we know he's still around. Like I said, it's a really good story. There's a lot of good moments in this book. I really would have liked to see solid issues, like single issues based off the stories of the areas that they had to go to. But like I said, some of that might be in Batman Lost, Hawkman Found, Wild Hunt. We do know there's a 53rd universe now, as Cyborg and Flash showed up with a bunch of Batman and Detective Chimps, which is crazy. what else is in the book that's worth noting? Oh, the one thing I couldn't help is, okay, so during all this, and we know we have this doomsday clock going on, and we've had DC Universe Rebirth, the one shot. We see this at the end of Dark Side War, which I've done reviews over both those. If you'd like to go watch them and like and comment, share them if you want. Where's Dr. Manhattan in all this? If he is such a powerful being that he could take away 10 years of everybody's lives and alter so much, why is he not a part of this? Where is he during all this? I mean, if he was willing to show up at the end and kill people such as Trinity and the Owlman and Metron, why didn't he show up and stop any of this? That's the one thing I kept thinking to myself. And at the time I'm doing this review, Doomsday Clock is not over. It's like on issue 7. I haven't read any of it yet. I'm just going to try to wait, and I might read half of it and do a review and do another half. But that's the only thing I can think of is he's been such a big player, and we've all been waiting for him. And he is, to readers and to fans, held on such a omnipotent level. Why was he not involved here? And a lot of people think, that he's so indestructible that you can't beat him. Could this Element X beat him? I mean, it reversed all the damage done by the Dark Multiverse and Barbatos. It's enough to shackle Barbatos back to the World Forge. And that's the only thing I can't help but think of is, where's Manhattan during all this? Did he even care? Does Barbatos know of Manhattan, or the Over-Monitor, or the Anti-Monitor? I mean, Metron knew about him due to the chair. You figure they would know something. And that's the only thing I can't help but think about is, why? Where is he? And all this Elemental X is out. It's gone. So what happens when more's needed? When will Barbatos return? I mean, they've shackled him for a reason. They didn't kill him. All the other Nightmare Batman you assume are dead or either pulled back into the Dark Multiverse, which is something I really hope they get back into. I really like this Dark Multiverse with all these Nightmare Batman, which you've got the Batman Who Laughs, you've got Devastator, which is Doomsday, the Murder Machine, which is Cyborg. I'm going to kind of guess just by looking at him. The Red Death, who is the Flash, Dawnbreaker, which is a Green Lantern. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing some there. I know I am. But anyways, the Drowner, which is Aquaman. So I'm really curious to read those. I'm probably going to read those here next and do a review over those before I get to the other stuff. Which we see with Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is, she's the last one left fighting. And we see a lot of different versions of Nightmare characters there. As we see one that's actually Cheetah, and she's Wonder Woman. One of the Wonder Woman look like Eclipso that she's fighting. We see an evil version of like Kyle Rayner. Even when Superman's dreaming, when he's on these towers, we see different versions of him. One is in a LexCorp armor, like the armor that Lex Luthor was wearing during Dark Side War when he was stuck on Apocalypse. So we've seen a lot of these different versions of Nightmare heroes, these DC heroes, and I'd like to see more of them. I'd like to see this Dark Universe explored. There's a lot left to be explored now that we know this Dark Multiverse is here. We know that the Source Wall is broken. Also, something else that's interesting, Batman had decided that when he went to go find the tomb of the guy who always murders Hawkman and Hawkgirl, can't tell, Setatamaka, whatever his Egyptian name is, he was willing, he had baby Darkseid, and we had not seen Darkseid since the end of Dark Side War, when he was destroyed and reborn with the anti-life equation. He's going to let baby Darkseid shoot him with the Omega Sanctum, which is actually held by these God goggles, and send him back to time so he can erase this. And the Court of Owls actually have him. So I'm curious to where that's going to play out, because Darkseid with the anti-life equation is just as powerful as the Over-Monitor, who you would assume is now as powerful as Barbatos himself. because the Anti-Monitor has always been a very, very powerful creature in DC. So I'm curious what the Court of Owls is going to do now that they have Baby Darkseid. Most likely that'll be left in the wind and it'll never be mentioned, or even how he got away from him, even when we ever see him again. I mean, who knows? Any other loose ends that I could think of here? Oh, Lady Darkheart. Lady Darkheart. Oh, that's kind of what I'm getting to. At the Rock of Eternity, when she's going to throw the Astral Brain into the Rock of Eternity, and Black Adam shows up, the Dark Universe kind of takes her over, and she looks like a crazy version of Shadowhawk from Image, and Darkhawk from Marvel, around the War of Kings, Realm of Kings storyline. And she goes all crazy looking. She's got middle wings, a middle fast. I mean, she really, really looks like Shadowhawk, and that's pretty crazy. And I'm wondering if she's going to keep that form now. And at the end of this, when Bruce has his big dinner for him, throws a party for everything, one greatest thing about the book is you see Swamp Thing in a red bow tie. But with that, I'm JVD. This has been my review of Dark Knight's Metal from DC Comics issues 1 through 6. Please like and comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Keep reading, guys.